Hello, welcome back with open-minded conversation with our close and friend. Today we have Auntie Sharon here, and Auntie Rudo, and the gangster Akos. I'm here.
Gangster.
I'm here for all of you. I think I'm losing my voice today.
Mob wife.
So today's topic is very sensitive for everybody in this world we are living. Not just for me, not just for you, not just for you, all of us. We're talking about racism today. And then we want to know what is the definition of racism. So, who's going? Until we're gonna kick off. To be fair, I'm very passionate, very passionate about this topic.
So
Yeah,
you should go.
and this topic is the main reason why I actually arranged to start this kind of that podcast, talk about it, because racism is very confusing to me personally, because our black people, we think the white people are racist, but if you have to look deep down, our black people, we are the most racist people in this planet. We're doing it undercover among ourselves, right? We racist among us. Somebody can sit down, right now, three of us who can openly sit down and say, oh, I don't want my child to marry a white person. And then you go, why though? And then you go like, oh, because of the culture reason, because I don't want that. But do we actually sit down and think they don't want their children to marry us because of the culture? But when a white person says, I don't want my child to marry a black person, then we attack them. Oh, they're racist. They're racist, right? So they are actually racist. Everybody is racist, but we shouldn't be pinpointing, oh, they are racist. That is my personal opinion.
Okay, so you've raised quite a lot of things there.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, the definition of racism. What is racism? It's discriminating
Mm-hmm.
a person
Mm-hmm.
or a group of people based on their
Skin color.
ethnicity, or where they're from, the color of their skin, and their religious beliefs.
Right.
That's racism. It's discriminating or being prejudiced against
Other.
people of
Mainly ethnic minorities.
yeah, because
You can't be racist.
but you can't your own
black
people,
person.
your own
No,
people.
you can't. No, okay. You might not call it the same.
That's prejudice.
No,
I
but
think
that's
there's racism and prejudice.
And then there is what's the word? What word am I looking for? Culture, or it's a
But then there could be a clash of cultures where, for example, in Zimbabwe, you've got the Shonas don't like the Ndebeles. That's not racism. That's tribalism.
Okay, tribalism. But then my point is, pain is pain. Whether tribalism, whether it's racism,
But what are we talking about now? We're talking about racism.
We're talking about
So
racism.
you cannot include those topics in that and when we are talking about racism.
But
Because then that's the confusion you're talking about.
Yeah.
right? But then my feeling is pain is pain. It doesn't matter color. If you can sit down, or I can sit down here to say, oh, I don't like Auntie Sharon because she's from Zimbabwe. I'm hurting your feelings. But then when one person says, oh, I don't like her pose, and say, well, because she's black, the feeling is hurting the same way. It doesn't matter because you use black or you from Zimbabwe. Therefore, I can easily forgive you because you say I'm from Zimbabwe because we are black.
But then hating me for
something that I have no control over.
Yeah, like I can't control where I'm from. I can't control the color of my skin.
Right.
I can't control that.
Right.
So if you hate me based on that,
that is wrong.
that's the racism we're talking about.
Yes. So then you can control where you from, but I still hate you. What does it make me then?
But we're talking about, this is what I'm saying to you, of course, is that if we're talking about racism, let's talk about racism. Let's not include side topics like tribalism and xenophobia and all those other things.
Right.
If we're talking about racism, let's talk about racism.
Right. But
because I think it will confuse things a bit.
Yes, but I understand. But then my point is, pain is pain. So we shouldn't sit down and say, oh, I know everybody's racist. That's what personal I'm trying to say. We're all racist. So we shouldn't quickly to attack them. Like example, that lady Diana, what's her name? That MP in the news, like that man who is going around just in the news about the white man said to her, and women like you make me want to hate black people. Yes, yeah. She did say that, and then it's in the news.
And then what is that?
And that is racism. Yes, I get that, and that is a hate towards a person. So that doesn't make the whole white people racist. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah,
no, but then the problem we have with racism is that it's not. It's not an opinion that you're supposed to have about anybody.
It's an ignorance.
It's an ignorance. It's something that people need to learn about. Racism. When people say to you, where are you originally from? They can only ask you this because you're black.
They would never ask
a white person where are you originally from? No. Because they automatically assume you're white, then you're from this country.
Right. And if you're black, you're from Africa.
Yeah.
But
Africa is the only place that is for black people.
Okay, but then is there anything wrong? Somebody asks me where I'm originally from.
It depends in the context. The problem with racism is that it depends with the context. There's a time that, like if I'm asking, so where are you from? There's no racism in there because I'm saying to you, so which part of Africa are you from? If somebody is to ask me from,
because it's something you've identified
from them, so I just want to know whether you're from a country or you're from a neighboring country.
Right.
But normally when in the context that it's asked, I mean, a lot of people say, oh, they're playing the race card, race card. One thing people forget is that being black, you're already in a minority.
Right.
And so you're already sticking out because you're black. So the next thing you want to do is to be having a racism card hanging up.
Right.
So nobody would come out and say, I just want to play the race card. No, it's because I understand. The problem is if you are not black, you will never know what it feels to be a black person. You will never know what it's like.
To be even white, because we don't know how the white people feel.
But the problem with the white people is that we know that there's a superiority with white people.
Right.
So there is that already. You're already on a different level from me because I am black.
And who makes them? Because we black people make them that better. Like now.
We didn't make them.
No, we do. Let me tell you the reason why we do. No, wait. Let me tell you the reason why we do. Among ourselves, three of us. Which of us is lighter than others? Yeah, I'm probably lighter than you, I guess so, and the same. Yeah, in our community.
That's a different topic.
No, it's not
colorism.
Yeah,
that's colorism. It's not racism.
But the white person is color. It's a color. It's black and white.
No. Listen, the racism, right? We can mainly associate it with white people against black people, or people of color, or any people of color, right? Colorism, it can be amongst us black people, right? Denise is darker. Lighter, like different shades of black here. It can be amongst us, right? That's what I'm saying to you. You need to be careful about the topics you're bringing in, because you're bringing in topics that have got nothing to do with racism.
No, it does though, because the reason why. Let me give you an example. The reason why
I cannot be called racist by saying that Denise is darker than me.
Okay,
by saying that I cannot. That's not racist. It's a fact.
But then
they will also then say that
it's a fact,
you're black.
It's a fact.
You're black.
Yes, but it's a fact. No. And they're white.
But that's if you keep bringing up the fact that I am black, and I am. I've come into this country with a little suitcase. I'm a monkey. I need to go back to my country.
Right.
I don't use that.
Okay, No, we do. Black people, I'm telling you.
I've never heard somebody saying to another black person, go back to your country, you're a monkey.
No, they might not say you're a monkey, but they'll tell you, go back. Look, like I said, Ghana, yeah? Like you're talking about Zimbabwe, you have a sauna in the belly. In Ghana, we have so many different tribes, yeah? I'm from the northern part of Ghana, and I swear down to you, even in this country, 21st century, we're still seeing that you go to Ghana and you go to the city, they look at the northern and they say, yeah, this is a northern people. I don't know what they do here. They're here to do kayayo.
But is that racism?
But that's not racism.
It is, no, but then...
It's not racism.
But no, my point is...
That's the confusion.
No, it's not confusion. My point now is, if I can say to you as a black person, see the difference in you, yeah, and I think it's okay to do that to you. Why are we fighting for?
But
one
have you
person
gone as
being
far
okay?
as the people in your country in Ghana with as many tribes and have they killed somebody
Oh, they
because
do kill. Yeah. Oh,
because they're from
of
the
course,
north?
But
yes.
then the thing is
Yes,
that
though.
with this is it's division everywhere, isn't it? Even in this country, people from the south don't like people from the north, and then people from the west are going, oh, that one is that one. You all label each other. That is not racism. We as black people were treated as slaves. We had no rights. We had nothing. The white person was in power.
And who put them in power?
Well, at that point, racism. Nobody who put the masters in the slavery time in power. Who did, they came over. They took over our countries. They came over. They took over our countries. But bear in mind, when they were taking over our countries, it was butter trade, wasn't it? Nobody was there thinking that. Bear in mind, at this point, right? People were wearing skins and they were hunting. So if somebody was then going to come and offer you something to make life easier, I mean, even if you look at it now. What are you doing for the pound? You're bending back. We are bending over backwards for the pound.
Yes.
So there's no point us judging our ancestors to say, well, why did you let the white person take over? When they did let the white person come into our countries, they were butter trading. But they were thinking that, well, give and take. I give you. But we didn't realize that at this point, they were coming to try and take everything from us.
Yeah.
What they then did, they were not just taking our gold, our diamonds. They then wanted our land. They then wanted our people. But what they then did is that they took our people and they now started scattering them around. And because of that, that's where the white superiority came over. We didn't place white people in power.
Yeah.
And you find that this is why I personally believe why racism has been going on for years and centuries is purely because white people or racists are very angry based on the fact that they know the potential of a black person.
Yeah, so
if we don't realize our own strength, that's why most people are intimidated because they see our worth more than we see our own worth. So racism in itself is for people that are black and people that are white. Black people need to realize that you're actually very strong, that you intimidate the white people so much that this is why they are constantly trying to keep you down.
So that way, if you know that, why are we dragging each other out? Instead of us to come together as a unit, as one, to fight again. We're not fighting again. We're not fighting again.
Each other up.
To bring it. Sorry to use the word of fight against anybody because at the end of the day,
it's not a war.
At the end of the day, we are all human beings. Right now, if they cut my skin, I cut their skin, cut a white person's skin, India people, we all do the same. We all going through the same pain. So we shouldn't fight against each other. So my problem I have with us black people is why can't we come together?
I can answer that for you.
And then support one another.
I can answer that.
Yes, and then move forward.
I can tell you that.
Okay.
Because you find that when our land was being taken away, do you know that they didn't use guns and a war and any of that? They used us to fight against each other for them to take over.
Yeah.
Even if you look now and you find, why do the Ndebeles hate the Shona and why do the Shona hate the Ndebeles? To be honest with you, there isn't even a concrete reason which I can say, you know what, yes, this is a valid reason, I'm going to pass it on to my children.
Yeah.
The same way you're in Ghana, the north, the south, and wherever. Why are you all hating each other?
Yeah.
If you find that what the reason actually is, you all laugh and think, well, it's not even worth it.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if you all come, it's easier to manage you. It's easier to manage Ghana when you are divided. If they want to now attack you, they will start with the north, the south, because they know that the north is never going to come and help the south.
It's the same thing that happened in South Africa with apartheid.
Exactly.
So if we know that, honestly,
we know now.
No, that's
we
not
know now.
Wait, understand. That's what I'm saying. That's my point. I'm just trying to understand. If me and you know that right now we're sitting down, knowing raising black children, knowing that they're using us against and fight each other. So why do we still going on fighting against each other?
Can I tell you what?
Yeah, tell me. I want to hear.
Because it's like an abused woman, right? And you always say, Why did
Why
you
don't you
stay?
leave him?
And she'll tell you reasons like, I'm saying for my children. I believe he's going to change. You always believe, because if the white people, when it came to slavery, they didn't just come up and say, "Oh, we're going to do this." They were very, very clever
Calculative.
and calculative on how they were going to do it. They preyed on us. Yeah, it's like how a lion will try and kill a gazelle. He will watch your movements and your behavior,
And your
right?
thinking.
And they use those against you, and they do that today. They know
exactly.
If,
Now
if I tell you that right now, if somebody wants to manipulate me, this is exactly what they've done. They know I'm a single parent.
Right.
It's like a narcissist, right? They know that you're a single parent. So the first question they'll ask you, how's your daughter? Oh, how you said you're struggling with uni, and automatically you think, oh, this person must have my best interest at heart. And this is the thing is, we thought, right? No, these people must have our best interest. Look, they're educating my child. My child is going to school. I've got a roof over my head. I'm being paid something. It's not a lot, but it's something, right? They were very clever. They made you feel comfortable until somebody else comes and says, no, but you know that in that next city, if you go there and you work for 2 hours, you get double what you're getting now. And then when you start saying to them, listen, I need to leave and go to that, they tell you, no, you can't.
Why not?
I own you.
No, you don't. Nobody owns. No,
I'm talking.
No, but that's what
I'm saying that this is how I'm talking about back in slavery times. Yeah, that's how they did it. They gave you a false sense of security. Listen to me, Akosi. I'm going somewhere with this. They gave you a false sense of security. And in that security, you said to myself, I don't want to jeopardize this, right? I'm going to stay. And for that, you've been there for 10, 20, 30 years. By this time, you've maybe had children. Those children have now had the same mentality. They look at that person who's given you this opportunity as God, right? So why would I then turn against the person who's giving me life potentially? No, it's wrong until somebody else comes and says, you're being treated unfairly. And even then you would even doubt this person that's telling you that. And you think, oh no, they're trying to steal what I've got. So for years now, until a whole group of people and the whole world is saying that, no, racism is wrong and it is unfair. It is unfair treatment of people. And then for you to try and think, okay, so what do you do now?
Okay, so now
it's very difficult.
I'm talking about back, but me, I'm talking about.
I'm talking about now. I'm talking about now.
We're trying to get to where it started from,
because for you to be able to
understand it,
to say no, this is not wrong. We shouldn't do this. You have to go back and you have to understand. Okay, how are you going to change a people that have been true? For example, I'll give you an example, and I find this very weird because the black people in America, right, they are totally different in mindsets to the black people in the UK or in Europe, right? Because first of all, like with slavery, a lot of them have dealt with it like firsthand. Like a family has got a grandmother who was in a cotton field. I don't have a family member who I know was in a cotton field. I don't have. There isn't anyone in my family that has experienced that kind of racism. So, because I believe racism is inherent, it's almost like because my grandmother and my ancestors before them were cotton pickers, right? They've got this inherent hate for white people. It's difficult to change those people's mindsets. Mine you can change maybe because maybe I'm of an age where I can think like that. But it's very difficult.
I think that the problem with the racism is that where it started from was during the slavery times. Why it's continuing now, the way you are now being treated is different from the way people were treated as slaves. But the problem is it still lingers in us purely because it was a psychological abuse that the slaves had. Do you understand? Because even then you can ask yourself that, well, why didn't those slaves then, instead of watching one of them being caned and bleeding to death, why didn't they all come together as black people, and why did they not fight? This is something that I'm saying to you, is that because you were all, it was psychological.
Yeah.
So they made sure that, you know, they made, if there was a loud one, that loud one would then be put aside so that you don't intimidate the others. And it's the same now. You find that if you look at the system now, right? There was a time when racism was more behind your back. Now it's all up front. It's all out there. I don't know whether this is a good thing or a bad thing, but you blatantly have a country which will say to you that we are looking for money for this country because, you know, we need to help our people. So where are we going to get it? We're going to get it from the immigrants. That, if you look at it in itself, that is at a top level blatant. But
then that's if you've got the mindset that immigrants are black people.
But if you look at the immigrants, so if you
we only make 3% of the population in the UK.
Let me
black people. But we're a minority.
We are a minority. But do you know that minority, most of those, especially the African immigrants, have got 2 or 3 jobs. So even though you are a minority, if you look at the amount of income you're contributing to the system.
No, can I answer the question? Yeah, the 2 or 3 jobs we haven't, they're not forcing us to do those 2 or 3 jobs. It's a choice we chose to do.
And do you know? And do you know why it is? Do you know why? Do you know why we have 2 or 3 jobs? It's not because we just don't want to sit at home and collect benefits. No, because one job is not, because they know you're from. They know you're not from this country. Right. You've got family from your country that you need to look after.
No, we shouldn't blame them though, because the country
no. I'm not blaming them.
Yeah.
I'm saying that this is how they learn you.
Yeah.
So they learn that these people are very family oriented.
Yes, but it's a choice though. It's a choice.
No, but then they monopolize on that.
No.
They use that as a weakness for you.
No.
I'll tell you, I'll give you an example. COVID time, when a lot of people were not able to travel because black culture, if your mother dies in Africa, you're going to bury them.
Yeah.
And you go there to bury them.
You go and you have to go, right? So it's not an option. It's not something you stop and think about and think, oh, practically, is this a good idea to do?
Right.
You're going to go. So they capitalize on that.
So
they make sure that before you leave, you have to get a number of tests, PC tests and certificates. When you come back, you have to isolate.
You have to stay in a hotel to stay in there
until you produce a positive test.
Some of the things, can I have a wedding? Yeah. Some of them things we cause it for ourselves. Yes, we can try. My mom died today. I'll give you an example. And then the world shut. And my mom know the word shot before he died. And that bury my mom, me not being there. My mom cannot say, oh, my child, why did you didn't come? My mom know the reason why I didn't go. Not because I chose not to go. So technically, they can't force me to go and pay to do the test, to do the thing. It's a choice I choose to go to.
But you're finding that you are saying that this is your mom could pass away,
right,
and your mother would understand.
There are most
African families, if my mom drops now, I'm stopping everything. But the majority of Africans believe in this, and the white people or the people in this country who are at the top have seen that this is the way Africans think. They are only using the way you think. But why do we have to change our family beliefs so that they don't take advantage of us?
So my thing I'm trying to say is, we are belittling ourselves. If it's a white person go through that list with a hairdressing certificate, this damn bitch is not going to say, why do you let a hairdresser pass through here?
Okay, so with that statement, I've got 2 questions for you. Any African child right now, you ask them, what do you want to be when you grow up? Does anybody ever say, I want to be a hairdresser?
Oh, some of them do.
How many?
Well, exactly. Maybe 1 in a million.
There you go.
Right.
So you find that much as we grew up, I grew up saying hairdressing was never going to be any. It was doctors, nurses, policemen. Those were the things we grew up being told were the good jobs. Yeah. Do you understand? But there's nobody. We can never say, this. Why we believe that because it came from this person. But we all know where that mentality came from. It's a mentality we've had passed from generation to generation. That's the mentality that we are trying to stop. So where we, like now that we are living in the United Kingdom, being a hairdresser, being a cleaner, working in McDonald's, you are all earning the pound. It's now kind of neutralizing everything. You understand?
Yeah.
So there's no longer that thing of, oh, but bear in mind, if you go to Ghana, there isn't that thing where a hairdresser is actually at a level higher than a doctor. There isn't. So you cannot take the way it is in Europe, want to now take it back to Ghana, and now you look at that garden and go, why are you crazy like that? What's wrong with that? Because that's the way he grew up. In Ghana, a hairdresser is not on the top 10 list of the things that people want to be.
But that's what I'm saying. That my point is, okay, yes, I'm a hairdresser. This is this is a point I'm trying to make about the racism I'm trying to say. It doesn't matter even the job artist. This is a black person. Go to a black person country. A black person said me, in this country, white people, you go to them to see their white people themselves. They treat each other well. They're not going to say, oh, because, no, all of them, no. And look, our fingers are not the same, right? So I cannot expect them to say they treat each other the same, right? They're always going to be a dodgy dealer somewhere, somehow, right? So, but we're talking about the majority here. So my point I'm trying to say, if we try to lift each other and support each other, I was making a point the other day to one lady. I said the reason why we don't support each other most of the time, as a black person, which of you ever walk to this city we are living, see another black person sitting and being homeless, and then you go down low to their level and say, are you okay? How are you? And stuff like that. The English people, they do that to their homeless people. They will go low and speak to them. No, they do. I see a few of them, they'll even buy food for them. We don't. No, we don't do that. Though some of the changes, this is some of the changes we need to acknowledge for us to be helping one another. We don't do that. So we can't blame a white person to say, and again, I'm a hairdresser, I have a company, I'm hiring people, and then you come to me from Zimbabwe looking for a job, and I have my sister here looking for a job. Automatically, let's use our common sense here to say automatically, who am I going to pick up first?
The one with the better thing. No,
no, you're thinking about the sensible way of doing it. The one with the better.
Because do you know?
But you're thinking about what it should happen. But I'm going to automatically choose the one from my country. But that's what the white people are doing. They are giving their job to their people before you, because number one, we are foreigners. We are coming to their country. So why should I give you the post?
But the difference is, I think, is that you know that sister of yours is from Ghana, right? But you cannot tell from looking at me.
No, you can't. No, by your name, they can tell by your name.
Yeah.
By your name, they can tell by your name. They don't even need to look at you.
No. An example of what's happening. Who was married to an English person, and her name was
Smith.
Yeah, and it became Ruth Smith. It became Ruth Smith.
Yeah.
Right? And she's black. And then automatically she goes to an interview and she gets turned down just from looking at her.
But can I say something here? Do you know that at the moment, in this day and age, companies are now trying to do where you apply for a job, you don't put your name on it.
Yeah.
They want and do you know why? Do you know why they're doing this? It's because you were never going to get a job. So you've got the same qualifications as Mrs. Smith. And because the name Smith automatically sounds
English,
but then when we put yours across it, they're thinking So now this is how bad it is that they've now decided that let's have CVs without names on it. Now, if it wasn't a big problem that even big companies are seeing that this is a problem, then it wouldn't be anything to talk about.
That's acknowledging the situation, though.
No, because we've complained about it. Let me give you another example of systematic racism.
Yeah.
You know, before I'm going to give the United Kingdom as an example because I've read about this. So the United Kingdom would go and advertise. We are looking we've got a shortage of nurses, doctors, cleaners. Now we even got a shortage of carers. Okay, it's one of the jobs that you didn't even need the qualification for. but we've got a shortage of it. So them obviously employing Louis over your son is not working. So they are now going to. Do you know they go and advertise in individual countries? We don't ask them to come and advertise, but they do go and advertise. And when they advertise, they will offer you a work permit. You can bring your children, blah 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 blah.
Family, yeah.
So people were like, you know what? You know, we come here and then you now treat us badly and then you treat us differently from what you offered us when we came to your country to get us. What they then did, because this is how clever, this is how they manipulate your thinking. They said, you know what, you people? Let's let you kill each other. We'll introduce the cause system. Cause system is, listen, the cause system is, Auntie Sharon here has got a nursing agency. You've got a nursing agency. I give you the power to go to Ghana, to go to your country. You recruit from your country. You bring them over here. Who is gaining in this one?
They're gaining.
They're gaining because now they've got people to work. Where is the problem? The monies that are being charged. Because they know that you are out to make yourself better. You're never going to go and say, you know what, the United Kingdom is looking for people. For £10, come over here, my brother. No, you're not. You're going to say, if it's 5,000, you're going to say it's 7,000. Because you also want to make money because you are a business.
Yeah.
And this is where the problem we have now. You have gone to, because there are so many people in Africa who have got no jobs. So you get a response of 20 people to come in.
Yeah.
You are now thinking, okay, I've got 20 people, right? It's 7,000 each. You've taught the maths, you bring them here. They come here, they've got no jobs.
Yeah.
You as a person, an African person, you should know this better. Because you know that these people, where they're coming from, is exactly the same place you came from. But now, because you are at a higher position, you don't care, so you let them come in and then they suffer.
So now, who's to blame here? The British person or the African person?
This is why this is an example.
Okay. I need to say.
This is an example of where the government is clever. They use you to kill your own.
Okay,
and then, so now the problem is.
Okay, let's pause here. Let's pause. And this, please hear me out. If you know they're using me and you again.
But they don't know.
No, we do know. You just said that. We know. No, if me and you know we are using each other, they are using us to fight against each other, and we damn know that. Why are we doing it? That's my question. I want to. I want to know. I am struggling to understand that. Why?
Can I answer you in regards to the cause thing? So when you, like you were saying, I've got an agency, you've got an agency. I feel established now. Right. So then,
I'm already on a different level.
I'm on a different level, and then in that mindset, I now feel superior, right? Yeah, I do, because I can now dictate to people. I can employ and fire people, right? At the same time, I also know where I came from, and I know the struggles that come from where I come from. So I think, no, okay, maybe I'm gonna gain money. It's a win-win situation. I'm gonna gain money, and my people are gonna have work.
But there's no work for them.
Yeah, but not even that is not work. I know that these people need training as well. Care work isn't just as easy as people think it is. They've got different mindsets. I've got a superior mindset, right? These people are thinking, I need to get away from the situation that I'm in. I need to go and make money. You're not thinking of the work that you're going to do, the hours it's going to take for you to do whatever you need to do. You come here and it becomes a shamble. You are underqualified for the job you're doing, and then you're still being used by the person who's brought you, the agency person. They want you to stay. You are thinking, no, this is too much for me. I need more support. That person who's on the superior level is never going to think, no, actually, this could actually be a difficult situation for this person. Let me help them. These are my people. No, instead, you actually make situations worse.
No, that's why
you make it harder.
That's why but we are helping.
So my answer,
the way we are treated. So we shouldn't be putting all the blame on the white people.
No one puts all the blame on them, but we know that because it's systemic, isn't it? Where they know how we think, so they are benefiting when they make these rules that they're making, or when they put these judgments or rules that they put in place. They are they're not putting those in place because they want Akosi to live a better life. No, they're out to look out for their own, and they use us black people. Then we go to the point where we say, as black people, this is where the problem is. We do not realize our worth. That's why there is one day in a year, I think it's International Day, where 1 year they posted and they said, you know what? Every migrant, don't go to work today. We posted this all on Facebook. That one day, don't go to work. You will see how this country will go to a standstill.
Like even
everybody thinks that this is not
International Day.
It is. They normally implement this on International Day.
But even if you think
people don't stop.
But even if you think about it, like if we were to talk about the Zimbabwean community right now, if we were to say, all nurses or anyone in the healthcare profession, don't go to work, or let's pack our bags and go back to our countries.
No one
all
will.
Of us.
Nobody will.
None of
but
them.
We all sit and we all talk
and
about,
oh
my God. Because do you know what we are? This is why I keep saying to you that this all stems back from our slavery days, where this mentality that's what we need to work on as black people, is to change that mentality, that thinking that a white person is superior just because they're white. A white person needs to prove to themselves, to prove to you, to say, yes, I'm superior because of this. We shouldn't just take it to say, because you're white, then you are superior.
Let me give you an example, and you know it, I know it, you know it. When a white person go to we are the reason why white people are treating us the way we are treating them. What I'm saying is, when a white person goes to Ghana, right, and have the same qualification, like we're talking about Otis and Louis here, have the same qualification as a Ghanaian person, have the same qualification, you know the company is going to employ a white person first and leave the black person.
Absolutely.
So if we are doing, my point is, if we are doing that to ourselves, what right are we giving the white person to treat us?
A lot of us.
But that's what I'm saying. We shouldn't, like, people thinking I'm supporting white people, I'm brainwashed. I am not. What I'm trying to say, if we start believing in ourselves, respecting ourselves, and stop dividing ourselves, together we are very powerful.
But Nelson Mandela tried to do that.
And then the same the Mandela people are the one supporting the English people to bring him down. It's not just the white person. This is what I'm saying. Before I kill you, I need Sharon's support to kill you easily. For me alone to stand on an individual to kill you is hard. Sharon knows you in and out more than I do. I don't know you're in and out every day. Sharon do. So for me to kill you easily, I need Sharon to help me.
But one thing you need to understand is that the same way now, if you think that in the UK there's how many black people, we will never all come together and say, let's fight against this. There's always going to be some that are thinking, well, you know what, yes, I agree with you, but I ain't acting upon it. The same way with the African continent. There are countries where they believe that this is not right. If you look at, is it Uganda at the moment? Rwanda, and Uganda. I think there was a company that was a Chinese company. They were treating the employers. So they come from their country, reside in that African country. They're employing the people from that country, and they are treating them terribly. Do you know what the president did? Came publicly and said, we are not having none of this. We are not letting you come into our country, abuse our hospitality, abuse our citizens. They revoked their stay in the country and deported them. We need more countries like that. That's why Africa, so that country on its own, they can never say, unless all the other leaders of the African countries think, you know what they're doing here is good. If you look at the president of Ghana, for once he outed the French people.
For once.
But that's a good example. That is such a good example. And that's why even when President Mugabe was here, he was like, you know what, when he was alive, he used to say, this is not right, this is not right. Everybody else who's now come after does not seem to have that. They're just saying as long as they are rich.
Like the removal of white farmers from the farms. The reasoning behind that, he wasn't backed up fully. Had he been backed up properly by other people, that would have been a
very successful move. Because Zimbabwe, up until now, is the only country in Africa where you as a citizen can own your own land. Even in this country, do you know you don't own your own land?
Even Ghana, you don't own your own. Ghana, they got one land for 20 people.
But in this country, do you know that even if you own the house, you don't own the land?
Yeah.
But Zimbabwe is the only country where you own your own land.
Before you build a house.
And that is what Mr. Mugabe was fighting for. And that's what we got as Zimbabweans, which no other country has got. So what we need is more people. But did you see how it all ended in the end?
Yeah,
terribly. Exactly. It all ended badly. But what we don't realize is that we actually had a very good president there. If the United States
was very much
or Europe wanted to say stuff, he was also very intelligent. He would come, because I always feel that these countries, like European countries, you need to throw the law back at them. Of course. As long as you know the law, you throw it back to them, because their law cannot serve just a white person. It's for everybody. So you as a black person or a minority, if you know the law of the land where you live, you will never be treated badly.
Let me ask this question. Yeah, we're talking about racism and everything. One thing I'm asking it, the slavery time, it's not the black people that slave. They slave Indians and Chinese, whatever. Yeah,
people of color.
Yeah. So they do that. So why is it that the Indians, the Chinese, they're here and they are doing better than the black people?
Because they learned. So I tell you what, because
quicker than the black.
Do you know why a black slave was worth a lot at that time? Because we are strong, and this is why we went for a lot of money. Because we were stronger. But whilst we were being treated as strong and everything, and probably it's going into our head to say, you know, we're strong, the others were watching and thinking, you know what, I would rather stay weak than to be a strong one and then be treated like that one. You understand? Yeah. So now if you look at it with that mentality, if you look at the Chinese, if you look at the Indians, they're all minorities, but one thing that's for sure is if they have a shop, there is no other nationality in there. They keep it within the family. As black people, because even if you look in the slave times, right, there would be that one slave who is the master's favorite. They would take that one to report all the other slaves. Do you understand? This is where it all came from, where I am now at a different position for me. I'm still a slave, but now I'm now a slave that is now serving in the house, not in the fields like you. So now automatically I'm a better slave. The same way now, because you own the agency, you have been given the right to get me from Zimbabwe. You are now a higher person than me, purely because, so you, even in your head, you're now associating yourself with chilling with the rich aunties up there. But at the end of the day, we are all still Zimbabweans. And you are bringing your own people coming here, you're making them pay
and
double.
You also
so
know what it's
your pocket, so that tonight you're eating at the Ritz.
So that's why I'm saying, this is what I'm trying to say. This is what I'm just trying to find the definition of racism. What is racism? Tribalism, colorism, whatever it is, that's what I'm trying to understand. And for all of us to understand that, look, we shouldn't personally, I deal with the reason why a white person cannot get me to deep causes. I stand, yes, it's not everybody strong like I do. I stand up for myself. There's this woman there, she probably died, gone. I don't even know, my neighbor, walking past. And there was a stone that time I have the stone driveway, and then he goes, "Oh, can you please sweep the floor?" And I said, "Well, I can't sweep the floor. I haven't got even time to sweep the floor." "Oh, if you want to, you can sweep it." Can't it? "Now I'm gonna report it to the government." I said, "Go ahead and do that." What came out from her mouth is, "Oh, you go back to your fucking country." And I said, at least I got a fucking country to go to. You're gonna die in care home. The true job we are doing why we can't get the 2-3 car and pass them in this country is we are focusing. I'm not saying we shouldn't helping our family members in Africa. Somebody said there is a quote. This American actor said, it's a black guy. What's his name? I forgot. The one who helped Harry and Meghan. What is his name?
Oh,
Taylor Perry said when he first started his business, he got his £100,000 because he knows how his family is struggling. What did he do? He divide among them. And then the second one, the same thing. They all become broke because they didn't make
money wisely.
Before you become helping your family members, You're a foundation, right? Stand on your feet first before you can help somebody. But then, as what we do is we don't stand on our feet.
No.
We want to help them, and they're dragging us down. Yes. And then we blaming the English people. Say we are working 10 jobs, 20 jobs, and it got nothing to do with them. You then have to sit down and think, okay, I need to help my family members. I need to stand on my feet first. Right now, yeah, I am strongly on my feet. I can help my family members whatever they want. But which is, I know people, they are not on their feet, they are not on their hand, they are not on their head, they are busy working 24/7, sending money home, back home they're not doing anything with it. They're not benefiting themselves, they are getting worse off, and you here, you are getting worse off and worse off.
So there's no building. But this is exactly why we always say that even though we are Africans, we come from where we need to look after our families back home, here and everywhere. You find you need to get to a point where for your own mental health, if you find that splitting your income, because it's tough financially in this country already, if there's nothing to spare for Africa, they're never going to die overnight. They're never going to die in 1 month. So you need to make sure that at this point you are now thinking where your mental health, loyalties can always happen when your pockets are full. When you've got extra. There's no point giving the last that you have because it's going to make you working and you're suffering in this country.
And then you are blaming the white person that they're not supporting you. This is what I'm trying to say. Yes, they're not supporting us. Yes, they're doing what they have to do, but we need to take acknowledge that we are our own downfall. That's what I'm trying to say. Not purely because I'm saying what they're doing to us is right. Then nobody deserves to be treated badly. That is my point. Nobody in this world deserves to be, because we're all human beings at the end of the day, black, white, blue, whatever. We all need to treat each other well. But we are making it worse for ourselves the way they are treating us. We are allowing them because they know we are desperate. So they are using us. So why can I not make myself? Why do I have to make myself desperate?
Sometimes you just need to be selfish to elevate yourself.
So that they will know.
If it means that you're not supporting this second branch for the next 2 years, do it. Because once you are at a stage of Tyler Perry, you then be able to even help more. But when you are still at the stage of me, where you can only help with £1, don't give your last £1 because your children here will be suffering. Wait until maybe you are now a step or two ahead where you can now afford £5, because the benefit thing is very difficult. It's a culture that's difficult to remove. It's easy for someone in Africa to go and collect money from whichever point you've sent from. It's so easy. I would be happy if I was in Africa and someone was sending me money every week.
I'm sure
I would be collecting the money. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't even, because that's why, like for my children, I always say to them, the money you have earned is so sweet when you're spending it, because you know what you had to give up. So imagine sending someone £100 when they sat in the sun the whole day and did nothing. They're going to enjoy that money and drink it. They will never use it wisely. So sometimes when you are here working, yes, I know we our family is important to us, and we shouldn't let this country's rules remove that family value that we have. But in the same breath, we also need to know that the people back home are literally milking us. Unless we understand that, then another day is another topic.
That one will come another topic. But the point is about racism, isn't it? So that's what I'm just trying to say. If we take a back seat and said, listen, we're going to be like the Indian, we're going to be like the Chinese, and work less and sit down and use our brain and think, maybe they will less use us, and then we'll less be valued in this country.
Work smarter, not
harder. No quantity, it's quality. And that's almost as black people, we are lack of. We want quantity. We don't want quality. And I personally, somebody will say, oh, where does your children go to school? Are there a lot of black people? I said, no, you know what? I don't want my children to go to school where there's a lot of black people. You know why? I want them to go to where the white people are, so that they can learn what the white people are learning. They can achieve what the white people are achieving, not what black people, because
also to be comfortable to sit around
white people.
Because when you go to the top, you're going to have white and black.
But then as black people, majority of us want our children to go to where there's a majority of I refuse it. And that's what people think I'm brainwashed. No, I am not. I'm being like the Indians and the Chinese. I'm going to work slowly, sit back and calculate my head, not my physically word. I refuse it. And I'm going to apply it to my children. It's a generation thing. And I'm going to apply it to them. And that's what Black people, we need to be smart of. Not to just be working crazy like cuckoo. No. And then our children in this country, we don't even educate them. We don't even put the value of it. We are applying to our children to work like crazy people as well, right?
But we also, as Black people, do you know what we need to realize? That in order for you to be, for this battle of trying to keep you down has been going on for so long, you must realize that you're actually stronger than what you think. Yes! And as if you were to come together, even if you think Africa in itself, if Africa was to come together and you're all thinking on the same level, I'm telling you, you'll be the next Europe.
Of course.
These are the predictions at the moment. And I'm telling you, let me tell you an example I'm going to give you. Do you know that at the moment, people, scientists and people, people do economics and stuff, are now looking and saying that Africa in the next 20, 30 years is going to be the next Europe. Do you know what those people who listen have done? They have now all started investing in Africa. Do you know how many properties in Ghana are owned by people from America? I won't even tell you the statistics.
And how many people are going to Ghana now from America?
I know, because of the homecoming, they said, isn't it?
No, but do you know what? They're investing in Africa because they know that when it becomes Europe, they are going to be the ones living pretty there. But do you know where else the people who are from those countries will be fighting here in Europe? And then when Europe then crashes and Africa is now big, we are now going to be applying for visas to go back to where we came from.
But then this is what I'm saying. It's all down to us, isn't it? So it's not.
We miss the news.
This is not.
We need to be clever. We really need to be smarter.
It's nothing, because it's down to me and you. Me going to Ghana as a Ghanaian to buy a land, they will milk me. But as a white person going to Ghana, exactly. So now, when they be overtake, they become racist and they say we are racist. But we are the ones.
And we are going to. You're now going to have to go to Ghana, and then this time, they'll be saying you need a visa. You have your British passport. You now need a visa to go to Ghana, where you came from.
So now it's got nothing to do with a white person.
No, it's because we are just slow.
It's something to do with our. I want to use the word stupidity, but then
we
maybe
don't realize our
lack of knowledge.
The work of knowledge and the lack of education. We do have education, but we are lazy to use it. African people, we are one of the smartest in every way, apart from financially. Even financially, we are worse than the English people. Ghana, we have oil, we have cocoa. Could you believe could you imagine a cocoa farmer never taste chocolate in their life? No, can you imagine that?
So when you're coming from here, you actually bring them a box of chocolates, which they are busy sending over abroad.
So this is what I'm saying. So for me, sometimes, by the way, our time is over. We will come back. African people, we are very strong financially, emotionally, physically. We shouldn't be blaming a white person, because the problem we have is we are quick to blame somebody for
and do less action.
Until we start taking acknowledgement for our problem, until we start call ourselves for accountability, what we do for ourselves as a personal self, then you will never see the wrong. We're always going to blame somebody for your problem.
Yes.
And we are blaming the English people. We are blaming the white people. Yeah, there's racism everywhere. There's no doubt.
But they're only using us.
We are only using it because we are allowing it. Because them, us working for them, they're not beating us to work for them.
True.
We are offering ourselves. Like slavery now, there's modern slavery, right? Modern slavery, we are paying to come and slave in this country, which is before they pay. But now we actually pay.
Yeah, that's true.
We are paying to come and slave for them. So we need to be smart, and we need to be calling our leaders out, because they are our problems. Our leaders is our problems.
Don't forget where you came from.
Right?
That's the worst thing you can ever do.
But this is the problem as we have most, especially the ones who marry to English.
Oh my!
The ones who marry to English people that think they are better than everyone else.
Exactly. They now put themselves on a pedestal where they now think that they are right.
Can we wrap it up?
Okay.
Wrap it up.
Okay.
Don't get me started on those ones. This is our men.
Okay. This topic comes to the end. Black, white, blue, green, Indian, Chinese, whatever you are. We are the same people. We should start. One thing we need to do, we need to start treat each other with respect.
Yes.
It doesn't matter who
we need to value ourselves amongst ourselves.
Yes, and support and lifting ourselves. You know, and there's a beauty of being black. I am so proud to be black. And I'm so, look, somebody will say, sometimes in my country, in our culture, black community, people think people like me, we are arrogant.
She says with her long, sleek, with her wig on.
No, with your wig on.
So this is the problem. They think people like me arrogant because look, I know my worth. I am very strong. That one, only person can take it away from me is God. No one else. No human being can take what I have. Unless I allow you. And I'm not allowing nobody to take anything God gave me. This is why I stand up for myself. You can call me arrogant if you want to. I don't care. You don't feed me, right? Sure. So we need to have that courage, that power. If you have it, nobody can come and tell you, you look ugly, and then you say,
right, no.
If you tell me I look ugly, I stand up to you, I said, look at me. Look, I am worth everything.
Absolutely. And your African culture, what you have learned from it, keep putting that to your children. This is why so many nationalities or so many countries are against Africans. We have got a value which no other country can give you. Don't take that away from your children. Make your children be proud of being black, of being from Africa. Because that is the next generation. If they're not proud of being from Africa, they're never going to fight for it. But this will be the generation that will now be needing visas to go back where they're originally from.
There's so easy. No, I remember
because they're using the British passport. Yeah.
So you got to them go to Ghana, the visa.
This is what I'm saying. So now they're going to be in this country trying to buy land, and yet when we are here, we could have bought the land, invested back home, and our children will now have homes. Like you know how here they've got a house in Spain. They go in the winter, they're all in Spain. And this is what we now need to be doing with our children. Make sure that you're building up your country back home. Your children will now have second homes,
but the problem
and they're going back and forth.
But the problem with building back home is the same African people are the one gonna bring it down for you. This is the problem. This is what
we have to stop that negativity.
No, but it's not. It's happening.
It is, but you know you can still build back home. You can still build back home because you know what? The people, like especially in Zimbabwe, the people with money who have built, I am telling you, they are living like in palaces.
They are there.
But they don't. But you don't have to be. Not all the time. They're not all
now our topic comes to the end, and please subscribe, people, because
share
and like. Look,
and leave your comments.
We send this to a lot of, even me, myself alone, the people I send is more than 100 people, plus you send. And then we only have about 38 subscribers. Come on, what is the support? This is some of the support we're talking about. We're not saying
we know it all,
but we want your support.
We want to know if we're saying the right thing.
Whether
you can add. Is there examples you can give to stuff we're talking about? Is there more you'd want us to talk about? We're trying to enlighten one another.
Yes.
Please, So today, and then look, did you notice today we all wear white?
I know this is very bizarre. I don't know, but now we're gonna go drinking.
This is why we need to know that it doesn't matter what color you are.
You could just be sinking ahead.
Right. Thank you for watching. Bye. One love.